In the sun-kissed state of California, nestled amongst rolling hills and vibrant communities, lay the city of Esperanza. Here, the air hummed with a unique blend of cultures and dreams. Leading this city was Mayor Elena Rivas, a woman with fiery determination and a heart full of compassion. Esperanza was more than just a city to Elena. It was a sanctuary. Elena had championed the city's sanctuary status, a promise to protect its undocumented residents. She believed in providing a safe haven for those seeking refuge, a place where they could live without fear. Her commitment stemmed from a deep understanding of their struggles, their hopes, and their contributions to the community. Elena saw Esperanza as a beacon of hope, a place where everyone deserved a chance to thrive, regardless of their immigration status. Her policies reflected this belief, fostering a community where everyone felt welcome. Within Esperanza stood La Sagrada Familia, the Church of the Holy Family. More than just a place of worship, it was a haven, a refuge for those who felt most vulnerable. Its doors were always open, its arms always extended. In the church's basement, a large room had been transformed into a shelter. Cots lined the walls, each neatly made. Children's drawings adorned the bulletin board, colorful expressions of hope amidst uncertainty. The air was thick with the aroma of Abuela Rosa's cooking, her comforting presence a balm to weary souls. People like Luis Mendez found solace here, a temporary home where they could sleep without fear, share stories, and dream of a brighter future. It was a place of whispered prayers and quiet resilience, a testament to the power of community in the face of adversity. The illusion of safety shattered on a Tuesday morning. The sun had barely peaked over the horizon when the heavy thud of armored vehicles echoed through the usually quiet streets surrounding La Sagrada Familia. Black SUVs screeched to a halt, their doors bursting open as ICE agents, clad in tactical gear, swarmed the church. The tranquility was instantly replaced with chaos. The shouts of agents, the frantic cries of children, and the desperate pleas of adults filled the air. The raid was swift and brutal, a stark violation of the sanctuary's perceived sanctity. The church, once a beacon of hope, was now a scene of terror, its sacred space defiled by the heavy hand of federal authority. The residents of a shelter, who had sought refuge within its walls, were now gripped by fear, their worst nightmares unfolding before their eyes. Amidst the chaos, Luis Mendez huddled with his daughter, Sophia, in a corner of the shelter. He was a man of quiet strength, his hands calloused from years of hard work. He had fled El Salvador, seeking a life free from violence and poverty for his little girl. Here, in Esperanza, he found work as a gardener, meticulously tending to roses and lawns, his hands bringing beauty to a new land. Luis had no criminal record, no history of violence. He was simply a father, striving to provide a better future for his child. Yet in that moment, he was utterly vulnerable, his fate hanging precariously in the balance, at the mercy of forces beyond his control. His eyes reflected a mix of fear and determination, a silent vow to protect Sophia, no matter the cost. News of the raid reached Mayor Rivas within minutes. She raced to La Sagrada Familia, her heart pounding with a mixture of anger and fear. Pushing through the crowd, she confronted the lead ICE agent, her voice trembling but firm. "This is a sanctuary city," she exclaimed. "We have laws protecting these people." She pleaded with him, citing the city's non-cooperation policies, reminding him that Luis Mendez was a hard-working member of the community, not a criminal. "He has a daughter," she cried, her voice cracking with emotion. "Please, I beg you, reconsider." Her words were a desperate attempt to shield her city and its people from what she saw as an unjust act, a betrayal of the values she held dear. The IC agent remained impassive, his face a mask of cold authority. He listened to Mayor Rivas's impassioned pleas, but his expression never wavered. "Madam Mayor," he stated, his voice devoid of emotion, "we are acting under federal law. Sanctuary city policies do not supersede federal authority." He continued, "We have a warrant, and we are obligated to enforce it." His words were like a slap in the face, a stark reminder of the limits of local power. He was unmoved by her appeals to compassion, her invocation of local laws. Federal authority reigned supreme, and her objections were simply ignored, lost in the face of unwavering federal resolve. The agent simply nodded to his colleagues, and they continued their work. The raid wasn't just about enforcing immigration law. It was a calculated move. High-ranking officials within ICE had chosen Esperanza and La Sagrada Familia specifically to send a clear message. This was a deliberate challenge to sanctuary city policies across the nation. By targeting a well-known church shelter in a city that openly defied federal immigration laws, ICE aimed to demonstrate its unwavering power and deter other cities from following Esperanza's lead. The selection of Luis Mendez, a father with no criminal record, further amplified the message. His detention served as a stark warning. No one was safe, regardless of their contributions or lack of criminal history. It was a chilling display of federal dominance, designed to instill fear and discourage resistance. The media was there, cameras flashing, microphones thrust forward. News crews from across the state, and even the nation, documented the scene. The images and videos quickly spread like wildfire across news channels and social media. The world watched as ICE agents led Luis Mendez away, his daughter clinging to his leg, tears streaming down her face. The coverage highlighted the stark power imbalance between the local government and federal authorities. Mayor Rivas's pleas, her frustration, and her ultimate powerlessness were broadcast for all to see. The media's lens exposed the vulnerability of sanctuary cities and the limitations of their policies in the face of federal immigration enforcement. The story became a symbol of the ongoing battle over immigration rights and the complexities of federalism. Luis's detention sent shockwaves through Esperanza, particularly within the immigrant community. Fear became a palpable presence, casting a long shadow over their daily lives. Parents worried about their children, children worried about their parents. The sense of security they had found in Esperanza was shattered. Sophia, now separated from her father, was inconsolable. Her cries echoed through the shelter, a constant reminder of the human cost of immigration policies. The other residents rallied around her, offering comfort and support, but the pain of separation was undeniable. Luis's absence left a void, a stark symbol of the uncertainty that now plagued their lives. The raid had not only taken a father, but had also stolen the community's peace of mind. In the quiet of her office that evening, Mayor Rivas wrestled with doubt. Had she failed her city? Had her unwavering commitment to sanctuary policies inadvertently made Esperanza a target? The image of Luis being led away, Sophia's tear-streaked face, haunted her. She questioned whether her policies, intended to protect, had instead exposed her community to greater risk. The federal government's blatant disregard for local laws left her feeling powerless. Was there a way to truly safeguard her city's undocumented residents in the face of such overwhelming federal power? The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on her shoulders, forcing her to confront the harsh realities of her position. The future of Esperanza and its promise of sanctuary now hung in the balance. Years before, the city hall had been packed, the air thick with anticipation. Elena, then a city councilwoman, stood before her colleagues, her voice ringing with passion. "We must become a sanctuary city," she declared, her words echoing through the chamber. She spoke of the shared humanity that bound them all, regardless of birthplace or legal status. She recounted stories of hard-working immigrants who contributed to the city's economy, enriched its culture, and strengthened its communities. She argued that it was their moral obligation to protect the vulnerable, to offer them a safe haven from fear and persecution. Her vision was of a city where everyone felt welcome, where everyone had the opportunity to thrive. The vote was close, but ultimately, Elena's impassioned advocacy swayed the council, making Esperanza a sanctuary city. Luis's journey to the United States was etched with hardship and hope. He remembered leaving his small village in El Salvador, the only life he had ever known. He recalled the fear that had become a constant companion, the violence that threatened his family's safety. He knew he had to find a better way. With Sophia in his arms, he embarked on a perilous journey north, traveling through unfamiliar lands, facing countless obstacles. He braved scorching deserts, treacherous rivers, and the constant threat of danger. Each step was fueled by his love for Sophia, his determination to give her a life free from fear, a life filled with opportunities. He dreamed of a future where she could go to school, play without worry, and grow into a strong, confident woman. That dream had led him to Esperanza. The city of Esperanza simmered with anger. The raid ignited a firestorm of protests and demonstrations. Residents took to the streets, carrying signs demanding Luis's release and an end to ICE raids. The steps of City Hall became a gathering place for activists, community leaders, and concerned citizens. The protests grew larger each day, fueled by outrage and a sense of injustice. Chants of "Free Luis" and "Sanctuary for All" echoed through the streets. The community demanded action from Mayor Rivas, urging her to fight back against the federal government's overreach. The tension in the air was thick, a potent mix of defiance and desperation. Esperanza was a city on edge, united in its determination to protect its own. In a press conference held days after the raid, an ICE spokesperson defended the agency's actions. He emphasized the importance of national security and the need to enforce federal immigration laws. He stated that ICE had a duty to protect the American people from potential threats, regardless of where those threats might be found. He argued that sanctuary city policies hindered law enforcement efforts and created safe havens for criminals. While he acknowledged Luis Mendez's lack of a criminal record, he maintained that all undocumented individuals were subject to deportation. The spokesperson's words did little to quell the anger in Esperanza. Instead, they serve as a stark reminder of the ideological divide that separated the city from the federal government. Legal experts weighed in on the constitutional battle playing out in Esperanza. They explained that the federal government has broad authority over immigration matters, a power explicitly granted by the Constitution. However, they also pointed out that states and localities have the right to regulate their own resources and determine how they cooperate with federal agencies. The conflict arose where sanctuary policies actively hindered federal immigration enforcement, such as limiting communication or refusing to detain individuals based solely on immigration status. The legal debate centered on the extent to which local policies could impede federal authority without violating the supremacy clause of the Constitution, a clause stating federal laws generally take priority over state laws. The situation in Esperanza highlighted the complexities of federalism and the ongoing tension between federal and local control. Determined to find a way forward, Mayor Rivas convened a series of meetings. She gathered legal experts, immigration advocates, and community leaders in a small room at City Hall. The atmosphere was tense, but hopeful. They brainstormed legal challenges to Luis's detention, exploring every possible avenue for his release. They discussed strategies to strengthen Esperanza's sanctuary policies, seeking ways to better protect undocumented residents without directly conflicting with federal law. They explored options for providing legal assistance to those facing deportation and for supporting families separated by ICE raids. The meetings were long and arduous, but they were fueled by a shared commitment to justice and a determination to fight for the soul of Esperanza. The impact of the raid extended far beyond Luis and Sophia. Maria, a single mother from Guatemala, lived in constant fear of being separated from her children. Carlos, a young man who had come to the U.S. seeking asylum, worried that his dreams would be shattered. Elena heard stories of families afraid to leave their homes, children too scared to go to school. The raid had ripped through the fabric of the community, leaving behind a trail of anxiety and uncertainty. Many felt they could no longer trust in the promise of sanctuary. The human cost was immeasurable, a stark reminder that immigration policies had real-life consequences, affecting the lives and well-being of countless individuals and families. Esperanza was not just a city. It was a collection of dreams now threatened. Life in the detention center was a stark contrast to the freedom Luis had known. He was confined to a small cell, surrounded by strangers, all sharing similar stories of hardship and uncertainty. The days blurred into a monotonous routine, filled with anxiety and despair. He missed Sophia terribly, his heart aching with each passing moment. He worried about her, about who was taking care of her, about whether she knew how much he loved her. The lack of communication with the outside world only amplified his fears. He felt isolated, forgotten, a prisoner in a land he had hoped would offer him and his daughter a better life. The emotional toll was immense, weighing heavily on his spirit. His hope was fading. Despite the fear and uncertainty, a powerful sense of solidarity emerged in Esperanza. A citywide rally was organized, drawing thousands of people from all walks of life. They marched through the streets, their voices united in support of Luis and other detained immigrants. The atmosphere was electric, filled with hope and determination. Banners and signs displayed messages of love, support, and resistance. Speakers shared their stories, their voices trembling with emotion but resolute in their message. Esperanza stood with its immigrant community. The rally served as a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of community and resilience could not be broken. Esperanza was a city standing together. Amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged. The legal team working on Luis's case discovered a procedural error in the warrant used for his detention. They filed a legal challenge, arguing that his rights had been violated. The case gained momentum, attracting support from civil rights organizations and legal experts across the country. The judge agreed to hear the case, setting a date for a hearing. For the first time since his detention, there was a real possibility that Luis might be released. The news spread quickly through Esperanza, lifting spirits and renewing hope within the immigrant community. It was a small victory, but it represented a potential turning point in their fight for justice. The legal challenge to Luis's detention fueled Mayor Rivas's resolve. She was more determined than ever to strengthen Esperanza's sanctuary policies. She sought innovative ways to protect undocumented immigrants, exploring options that fell within the boundaries of the law while maximizing their safety and well-being. She proposed expanding legal aid services, providing more resources for education and job training, and creating community programs that fostered inclusivity and understanding. She understood that true sanctuary meant more than just legal protection. It meant creating a community where everyone felt valued, respected, and empowered. She wanted to ensure that what happened to Luis never happened again. Her commitment was renewed. The legal battle surrounding Luis's detention had far-reaching implications. Legal experts from across the country watched closely, recognizing that the outcome could set a precedent for future conflicts between federal immigration authorities and sanctuary cities. The case became a test of the limits of local power and the extent to which sanctuary policies could withstand federal challenges. Depending on the court's decision, other sanctuary cities might be emboldened to strengthen their protections or, conversely, might be forced to scale back their efforts. The case was not just about Luis Mendez. It was about the future of sanctuary cities and the rights of undocumented immigrants across the nation. It was setting a new bar. Days before the scheduled court hearing, a judge ordered Luis's release, pending the outcome of the case. While it was only a temporary reprieve, it offered Luis a chance to reunite with Sophia and return to his community. The news spread like wildfire through Esperanza, sparking celebrations and renewed hope. The moment Luis stepped out of the detention center, Sophia ran into his arms, their embrace a powerful symbol of love and resilience. The community welcomed him back with open arms, a testament to their unwavering support. Although his future remained uncertain, for now, Luis was home, surrounded by the people who loved and cared for him. It was a moment of joy. The ICE raid left a lasting scar on Esperanza. While Luis's temporary release was a victory, it did not erase the fear and uncertainty that had gripped the community. Trust in local government was shaken, with some residents questioning whether sanctuary policies were truly effective. The events in Esperanza also reignited the national debate about immigration reform. Advocates on both sides of the issue used the story to support their arguments. Some called for stricter enforcement of immigration laws, while others argued for comprehensive reform that would provide a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. The debate continued, with no easy answers in sight. The road ahead was uncertain. The story of Esperanza and Luis Mendez serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities surrounding sanctuary cities, federal power, and the human lives caught in the middle. It highlights the ongoing tension between local efforts to protect vulnerable communities and federal mandates to enforce immigration laws. The raid on La Sagrada Familia exposed the limitations of sanctuary policies and the vulnerability of undocumented immigrants, leaving us to consider the future of immigration policy in the United States. What is the right balance between national security and human compassion? How can we create a system that is both just and effective? The answers to these questions remain elusive, but the story of Esperanza compels us to keep searching. What will happen next?